All right, welcome back. I'm Yakin and Bassin, and today we're going to be talking about my top 5 baits for the month of June. So whether you're up north fishing shallow or you're down south fishing deep, I got the bait for you. Let's talk about it. So in the month of June, it's a very strange time for bass fishing. A percentage of fish are going to stay, shallow, and then another percentage of them are going to go deep. So I got a little bit of everything on this table for my top 5 baits for whether you're up north and they're starting to move into that post-spawn stage, or you're down here in the south where they're starting to do their summer transition to that offshore structure. So we'll get started right away with it. So my first bait has to be a worm. It's such a versatile bait, whether it is a curly-tailed one like this, or it is a finesse stick bait like this. They're so versatile. You can use them any time of year, really. But my personal favorite time to use them is in the summer. We're moving into that period where they're going to start posting up on structure because water temperatures are going to start rising and they become a little lethargic. And so the only way that you can get them to eat is by a big meal. And the best way to do that is a big worm. This is a 10-inch Zoom curly-tailed worm. I have it on a 3/8 ounce bullet weight. And this is the VMC wide gap worm hook. So the reason why I use those specific tackle is because a lot of these fish, when it comes to big worms like this, they will eat the whole thing, and that's a lot of plastic to have to set the hook through. So if you don't have a offset hook, your hookup ratio is going to go down. Personally, I like these VMCs. They're very, very good hooks. They're very stout. I have never broken one, and I've caught some good fish on this worm right here. However, a lot of the times, this is too much for the fish, especially in your lake. It depends on if the lake has small fish or not. My personal favorite I usually throw is a shaky head. I love shaky head worms. They give such a good finesse presentation, and you can do so much with a shaky head. It's very versatile to throw. Specifically, this is the Rapala Crush City Janitor. It is the plum color on a shaky head hook. It's such a great presentation. It is hard to beat this. There are tons of ways that you can rig a worm, whether it be a wacky rig, a Nico rig, Texas rigged, Carolina rigged. There are so many different ways that you can rig a worm. The Pig Stick by Rapala Crush City. This is such a good bait. It has such a good action in it. It is my go-to wacky rig worm. I love this thing. So, if you're fishing docks, laydowns, you can never go wrong with a wacky rig worm. That is my #1 pick for the month of June. So my number 2 bait has to be a chatterbait. This bait is so versatile when it comes to weed lines, cover, you name it. It is so good at presentation as a shad, especially in this white. It catches fish. I have caught so many fish on this white chatterbait. This is the Z-Man Jackhammer. I love this chatterbait. It has got such a good hook. It has got such a good sound. And I usually pair it with this freeloader by Rapala Crush City. This freeloader, along with their mooch minnow, has such a great action in that tail. And this chatterbait is phenomenal at getting that tail to have that action. And I've caught some very big fish on this. Now, if you're pitching this around rock, this is one that I would recommend you not go with. This likes to get snagged on rock, especially if you pitch this into rock pilings. It is not very good. So the good substitute for that would have to be a square bill. This is the Strike King 1.5. It is such a great square bill. It's got good rattles in it. It's got very stout hooks. They're very, very sharp. I have caught some very good fish with this. This specifically is the just the shad pattern on it. I also really like the shad and chartreuse. It is an incredible color, but this bait would have to be my substitute for that chatterbait. So my next bait, my number 3 bait has to be a topwater frog. This time of year, bass are really starting to get into cover. They are posting up. They got to get out of that sun, and a lot of the times they go into weed. And so frog is a great way to catch them in the month of June. Topwater bite is still there, and especially in the early mornings. That early morning topwater bite is unmatched. However, this specific one, this is the Booyah frog. This is the Pad Crasher. It is a walking style bait frog. I love this bait. I love this frog. I love this color. It kills them. I love it, especially on places that are full of weeds, like Lake Nickajack. Lake Nickajack is full of weeds, and during the month of June, July, August, and so on. This is probably one of the better baits to throw if your lake has a lot of weeds on it. Now, the substitute for this, let's say you throw this bait and the topwater bite has died off and they have stopped eating this frog. My tip is to throw on a weightless fluke. I love this bait. This is the Zoom Super Fluke. Rig this, Texas rig style, weedless, weightless, and pitch this right into those weeds. This is a fish catcher if the topwater bite starts to die off, this little jerk bait. You can let this sink all the way and jerk it out of those weeds, or let it ride the top of the weeds, and you will not get snagged, I promise you. And you will get a bite with this. This is a killer when it comes to bass fishing. All right, so my next one would have to be for my offshore guys, especially down here in the south, and especially on Lake Chickamauga. It is a ledge fishery. It is such a good place to catch some offshore bass, not only just bass in general, but some big bass. And my go-to pick for that would have to be the Rapala DT16. I love this bait. This is such a good crankbait for this month of June. Most of these fish are starting to move offshore, and they aren't incredibly deep yet. However, they are still deep. And you need a bait to get down there into those depths right in their face or right above them. I recommend a DT16 only because it's that nice range where it can get down to those depths for those fish that are on the bottom super deep, or even in like 18, 19 foot of water where fish are somewhat suspended, and this will kill them. What I recommend though is if you do have a crankbait and you're going deep dive crankbait, or you're deep cranking, match your crankbait with where the fish are. You know, a DT16 is great that middle of the road. It's not a DT 20 or a DT10, but that DT16 is that nice little middle ground. It's got incredible rattles in it. It has got incredible hooks. I love this thing. This thing catches me some monsters this month. And finally, the last bait I have for the month of June would have to be a jig. I love jigs. Jigs are such a fun way to fish, and you can catch some really good fish from a jig. When it comes to the month of June, however, is a football jig. I love a football jig in the month of June. You can pitch this into some cover. Be mindful, it will get snagged if you're not careful. However, the best ways to fish this are on the bottom. And For my shallow water guys, you know, pitching this right underneath the dock and letting this sink down to the bottom and hopping it off the bottom to give them that big bait presentation, it will get you a bite. For the offshore guys, I really like going to ledges if they're not eating this DT16, is throw a jig. And you can throw this out there, let this sink down all the way to the bottom, and then just work this up the ledge, drag it up the ledge, and I promise you, you will get bit on a jig. When it comes to your trailer selection, that is all preference for you. Me personally, I really like on this specific jig, this Rapala Crush City cleanup crawl. The color for it is watermelon red. I love that red contrast on a jig. So it gives this jig that little bit of contrast, because this has got some browns, some greens in it, got green pumpkin, but that green pumpkin, or I'm sorry, that watermelon red really makes it kind of stand out. This has got a fairly stout weed guard and a very stout hook. So when you do get a fish on this, do not forget, you need to set the hook kind of hard when it comes to this specific bait. That concludes my video for today. I hope a lot of this information was useful. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. We will definitely be getting out on the water this summer. It's just down here in the south, it has been very rainy, and so it's going to be some tough fishing coming up. However, I can't wait to show y'all what's in the future. I'm Yakin and Bassin, signing off.